Hey everyone, it's Corey, and if you don't already know, I'm currently trying to beat Minecraft 2,023 times this year. And just a couple weeks ago, I performed my 1,000th completion live at Pace Summer 2023. This was such a cool opportunity, not only for me, but a chance to showcase a raw Minecraft speedrun on a random seed to a broader speedrunning community that isn't as familiar with the game. The day after the completion, I went live on my Twitch to continue doing more runs. However, before doing that, I wanted to analyze Run 1000 and give viewers an inside look on what was going through my mind while performing this run on a stage.
So let's do this. Let's switch it over to display capture. Is this going to be covering up my face? Oh god. Well, all right, we're gonna play through this. Here we go. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. I was shitting bricks. I was absolutely shitting bricks. So the way this works, right, is that there's a camera that's set up for only one PC, right? This is where like the person that's streaming the game sits. But on this stage, there's like 7 other PCs that other people can like warm up on and stuff like that. So I was on a PC like all the way over here, like behind this setup. But so I download, because they didn't have Minecraft installed. I had to download Minecraft. I had to import my instance that I took with me. I had to get all my peripherals, my keyboard, mouse, headset, all that stuff. I got all of that hooked up, and I was practicing for a good like hour and a half before I had to go. But I realized that I can't just move over there because all that stuff is not downloaded and stuff. It would take forever to get all that stuff set up again. So what me and the tournament organizer kind of came up with is that we were going to detach the PCs and just move the PC over there. And so that's what we came up with. But the problem was that when we connected everything back up and we tried to boot the PC, there was a big black screen. It says unable to boot. And me and the tournament organizer were just kind of like sitting there like, what do we do? So we had to like sit there and Google it for like a good 15 minutes to figure out how to like to get it back up and working. But thankfully we did. So I'm basically just like sitting here doing my little intro. I actually have everything written down here. I have my intro that I was gonna say, and then I have everything that I was going to explain if it came to be. The one thing that I was so scared about during this run, the one thing that was like mainly so anxiety inducing, was the fact that I had never seen the seed, right? It's a completely random seed. I don't know if this is either going to be a good seed or an absolute shit seed. And I was only allotted 55 minutes for the seed. So if I don't beat it in that time, I was screwed. And to add on to that, there was 15 minutes of technical delays. So my time got reduced to 40 minutes. I had to beat that shit in 40 minutes. So if I didn't beat it in 40 minutes, GG. So that's what was so like if I die, it's going to be like really close, you know? So I wanted to play this pretty safe. And that's why I didn't go for zero cycle in the end. I'm loading in, right? And I see ocean instantly. And I'm thinking to myself, thank God. I was so relieved to see an ocean here. You have no idea. I thought I was gonna get spawned in like a taiga with like no cave, no food anywhere. I thought I was gonna have to do some weird stuff, right? Some like weird 8-minute enter or something like that. Like I was scared. But I see ocean and I just big sigh of relief. I'm sitting here, I'm still like explaining the challenge, right? I start mining wood. And oh yeah, there's another thing. I screw up on crafting the entire run because the window sensitivity on that PC there is so different from my PC. It's crazy. Because you know how like there's your mouse movement sensitivity and then there's the in-game sensitivity, right? I adjusted my in-game sensitivity perfectly, so like movement and everything was fine, but crafting was so different because my PC, like the sensitivity was mega high there. So I had to adjust for that, and that's why all my crafting is just utterly atrocious in this challenge. Like you see this shit. Oh yeah, and there's that. I'm explaining like the whole like shipwreck stuff and all the challenge, and my brain is just defaultly vanilla run for some reason. So I start digging down with a pickaxe when normally I would never do this. I would just make wooden tools and go. So I realize this right now. I'm like, why am I mining stone? But if I build up back now, I'm gonna look stupid. So I just
you know, you gotta truck it and stay with it. So I finish mining this stone, but like then I like screw up. I don't craft a pickaxe, and then I go and I set off. I realize it's war motion, so I go and dig down here to get the rest of this gravel, and of course I get absolutely atrocious flint rates. And then I finally get flint right there. And then, of course, I dig down, and there's one that appears right under my door, so that's sick. And I come up from air, and I see a boat right in front of me. And I'm like, big sigh of relief. I'm like, oh my god, it's a full boat. I'm going to have a map. I'm going to have a treasure room. This is going to be perfect. And so I'm boating. I go in F5, and I see Magma Ravine right here. It's kind of hard to see it with the buffering and the bitrate and stuff, but I see a Magma Ravine right there, and so I know that's my enter. And so already I'm thinking this is probably a sub 4 enter. I get enough iron from the shipwreck, and so I don't even need to check the map. But spoiler alert, the map is literally right where I spawn. I could have done mapless where I spawned and got a buried treasure with like 15 iron and like 2 diamonds and shit. It was funny. So I get all my stuff. I'm out, right? Keep in mind, I don't have a pickaxe right now. I don't realize this. Normally, I would, you know, after I get the iron, I'd go down, get the gravel. But because I already got my gravel, I don't feel like there's a reason right here to dig down. So I go, I start, and then I realize, oh, wait, I don't have a pickaxe. So I think about making doors because I forget that I just have them in my inventory. I quickly craft my stuff. It's so scuffed because, you know, sensitivity stuff. And then we're in the nether at 346. And there's one... Alright, so this is another thing that I was worried about. Because my PC, like here, is like kind of slow. It's on the slow end, right? So it's very easy to see the big spike, right? It goes from like 0, 0, 0, and then it jumps to 30, and then 0, like it loads the things in pretty slow, right? But on a faster end PC, which is what this is, all the entities basically load in at once. So it's much harder to see that big spike. And so I'm just kind of waiting. I thought I see it right there, but I'm just waiting for the rest of these chunks to load because I'm not sure. So I finished waiting for it to load, and I'm talking about the E counter, right? I'm talking about it, M plus C value, all that shit. And then I do my E-ray, and I see that's right in front of me. I'm like, okay, sick. So it was actually, I did get a spike. And right here, that shit scared the fuck out of me, dude. I go in F5 and I see some tentacles. Like, that was like, what the fuck? I turn around, do a quick little return to sender. Just a subtle flex. And then, yeah, I get into the bastion. I get a little disoriented because it's like kind of buried. So I'm like trying to figure out which way this is. So I do manhunt. I don't see too many pigs. So when I get up here and I mine this blackstone, I see this gilded blackstone and I just mine it so I can get extra piglins. And you know, that's just like the correct play because like I didn't really see that many when I was doing manhunt. And then boom, I'm in the bastion at like 540. Like I'm cooking right now. I'm like straight cooking. Like if I have like a fortress within like 16 render, like this is probably sub 20 pace. So I do everything. I check my stuff. I still realize I don't have any pearls yet. And I go there and I see 6. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I still don't get any. I'm sorting my inventory. I split the pearls. I see I have 11 there, 15, and then I get another trade right there. Perfect. So I have 19 pearls right now. So I'm basically out, right? I get an 8 trade right at the last second. I didn't realize this at the time, but this helped me so much. I have 11. I have 8 right here in my inventory. As soon as I leave, right there, I get a 16 trade. And I didn't even realize that, and I just leave. I'm thinking I'm going on 19 pearls right now. So I go and I check the top chest for extra obsidian to try and get double travel, but I just don't pull it, which is unlucky. And so I keep cranking up my render distance, and I'm getting worried now. I'm like, oh god, there's no fortress loading. But one loads in, and I'm like, okay, great. How far is this thing? But it ends up not being too far. It's like 26 chunks, which is doable with good terrain, which I had in the direction that I was going to. So I was going -X. I realized that we had terrain that goes out
the way I came. And there's just so much open terrain. I'm very happy. But I don't see it in front of me. And I know that I probably went a good amount of distance. So I go in pie chart again and I realize it's diagonal, which is fine. Like, I have a decent amount of terrain this way. And then I throw this pearl and I realize there's a giant wall in front of my face. And now I'm worried because I'm like, okay, well, now it could either be a treasure bastion, right? If it's buried and I don't see like a fortress. That's what I'm most worried about right now. But the second thing is that if it is a fortress, it's going to be much harder to dig into because I don't know where that is. But with a stroke of luck, there is a 1 block gap right here, and I see the leg of the fortress. There is a tiny 1 block gap here that allows me to see the fortress leg. And I'm in. And that was my last piece of bread that I ate, but I think I still have a little bit more carrots. And this took me so long to find the blaze spawner. I probably searched this thing for a good minute before I found it. I finally found it at like 11 minutes. I could have made these carrots into golden carrots, but I didn't grab any extra gold from the bastion. And I didn't want to just sit there mining gold nuggets. But I guess it doesn't really matter that much in the end because I didn't take... I actually did take a little bit of damage. But these blaze rates were actually crazy. I think I go 3 for 4 on these first 4 blazes. And then I think it ends up being like 8 for 14 or something, which is above average. I also get 29 iron from the bastion, just from all those iron nugget trades. So I'm thinking, okay, just as a precaution, let's not die. Let's equip some armor, right? So I go and I throw all that stuff out. I go and I craft my beds, and I see that I have 6 beds, right? I could have more if I got more wood, which in hindsight I probably should have, because then I would have went for 0. But it is what it is. I just knew that I had enough explosives, so I didn't really feel like I needed to. And 2 of those 3 drop. I'm at 5 right now. And then I think I have 7 by the end of this. I take a lot of damage from these guys. How much is this? Am I at 6 or am I at 7? I'm at 7, yeah. So I could have left right now. And I think if I left right now, it would have been like sub 22. I still feel like I would have done... If I knew everything, I think I probably still would have stayed here for 8, just in case. Because my blind ended up being 1.2k. So I finally get another spawn. And I think this next guy drops one. Yep, he drops an 8th, and I'm gone. And now my coordinates are awful. I'm at like negative 300, negative 220. So I'm trying to get around to like negative 180, negative 180. And I see a little bit of terrain up here, but then it just stops. And I see a ravine right here, right? But this is not the direction I need to go in. This is the direction I need to go in. So if I go this way, it's not really helping me that much. Right? So I send it here in this little like cubby. But I didn't realize that this isn't a ravine, and this just opens up into more terrain down here. I could have gotten a much better blind if I went this way. If I went in like that ravine area, but I just don't see any terrain that way. So I just send it here. But I think if I paid a little bit more attention, I would have seen that my C is 700, and so I know that there's an opening that way. So I probably should have just sent it. Which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I have a 14-minute blind, which in this challenge is really good. Usually if I'm blinding like before 20 minutes, that means it's like easily sub 30. So I throw my eye, and I get a little bit sad because it points towards the one place that there's land, and it's a mesa biome, which means I'm not going to get food, and I don't really have too many pearls to throw, right? Because I'm out of food right now, so I know I have to hunger reset. The good thing is that I made all my beds already. So I realized that, okay, I'm at full hearts, and I don't want to just waste pearls to kill myself right now. So I'm just going to use as many pearls as I can right now to go as far as I can without needing to hunger reset. I get a good flat piece of piece of land right here and distance estimate. That eye breaks, and I see that as 21 flat. But I'm explaining the whole distance estimate thing right now, and while I'm explaining it, I forget the first eye. So I don't know that it's like 1.2k from right, or like 1k from this place. I forget my angle, but I know it's maximum like 1,000 blocks. Also, there's an endermite that spawned here. That's a 1 in 20% chance, which is actually hilarious that happens. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. And now I see my pearls, but because I hunger reset with pearls, I probably shouldn't throw any. I have 15 right now, and I want to save a little bit just in case of a potential zero cycle. In hindsight, I should have grabbed a little bit of wood right here, but it is what it is. I see this opportunity to grab some food because there's pigs here, and then I throw my next eye, and it's basically a 90-degree angle change from where I was. So I know I'm close. Throw a couple more, get the exact place, and I can start digging down at 20 minutes. Drink a fire res just in case I dig right down into lava. And I'm good. I'm in the stronghold 2030, and I'm looking really good. I'm explaining the pie chart right now. I get a big spike right there, which, you know, I'm explaining the whole preemptive stuff about mob spawners and all that jazz. So I go the way I think it is, and this just isn't the direction. And then I come down here, I go around here, and I hear silverfish hisses. And I think that it's above me or below me, because the headset that I'm wearing is theirs, right? I'm not used to it. It's so loud in my ear, because when I didn't hear game audio at first, they had to like feed it to me. And they started feeding it to me, and it became really, really loud. So it was very hard for me to pinpoint this silverfish. You can see me kind of like looking up and down about like trying to see where it is. And then I see light, and then I'm like, oh, wait, this is weird. This is not the way it's supposed to be. But it doesn't matter because I'm in. It's a 0 eye, which is unfortunate. Because I think if it was a 1 eye, I would have had an extra pearl, and so I'd have been much, much more comfortable with a 0. Because I believe it's a back 1/8 cycle right here, if I decided to go for it. Get some more blocks in my inventory, and yeah, it is a back dragon 1/8 cycle, which I did practice a lot of, but yeah, I decided to not go for it. Luckily, it didn't really end up mattering in the end, because it was still a really good time. The dragon never fireballs me once, and I'm kind of just I'm scared because I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about right here. But I see the little snap right there, and then I see the final swing over there, and I'm like, oh my god, wait, it's actually perching really fast, and there it is. 22:52. So I'm still like shitting bricks, right? Like I can't see chat. I can't like react to anyone like congratulating me, right? So that's why I'm not like as hyped as I probably should be, because it really hasn't sunk into me yet that was my 1000th. I was more just concerned about, you know, conducting myself on a stage, right? You go back and I can see like the chat and all this stuff, which is really cool. One of my friends took a screenshot of the viewer count when I think it peaked, and I think it peaked at like 1,600 viewers, which was really cool. That was the whole run, and like that was my like kind of analysis of it. It was a really cool opportunity and amazing. With that out of the way, let's play some frickin' Minecraft. Look at that. Top left corner, 1001. That's so cool.